Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Or maybe not happy. I'm going to talk to you today about keto and why the fitness industry is such a mess. I'll take some background, some context. For those of you that don't know, keto or ketogenic dieting is a type of nutrition plan where you basically have high fat and almost no carbs, very low carb. It's fairly similar to the old Atkins diet, but a focus on healthy fats rather than all the kind of dairy and saturated fats that the Atkins diet had. Essentially, it is a super low carb, high fat diet, and proponents of it say that, or the science behind it is actually that when you go into ketogenic states, what happens is carbohydrates are our primary energy source. They're broken down into glucose, which goes to glycogen, which goes to power us and power our muscles. When we get to a ketogenic state, basically we deprive the body of carbohydrates, so the body actually starts to use fat as the primary energy source, which is why the diet's high in fat. And also then you'll start to burn your body fat. So kind of sounds great, but there are a few problems with it. Number one, we know that carbohydrates are primary energy source. Our brains, our central nervous system run off carbohydrate energy, and we're designed to run off carbohydrate energy. And people have been banging on about keto for a long time, and then some people even link it to this paleo and primal thing as well. So they argue that grains and things like that haven't been in our food chain long enough for us to have evolved to cope with them and process them as food and fuel efficiently. As despite the fact that pre-Egyptian times we've got records of agriculture and seed production, and cavemen, they found milling stones for seed. They basically say, these people say, if a caveman was starving and they found a field of corn on the cobs, they wouldn't eat them because it's carbohydrates. It's absolute nonsense. And think how fast we do evolve. There's already evidence that our brain structure is changing because of the way we're using smartphones and tablets. So to think that for tens of thousands of years we can't cope with grains is one thing, but it's important to note, so I'll come back to this. So these chumps have you believing that keto diet is a sustainable thing for life. Listen, keto works. If you want to shred your body fat, use fat as primary energy source, it works, but it's bloody hard to do. You've got to avoid all carbohydrates, you've got to eat a high fat diet, you're pretty hungry most of the time, you're low in energy most of the time because we're designed to run off carbohydrate energy. And here's the thing, the weight you will lose fat for sure, you'll get you down to a very low body fat percentage. You also lose a lot of muscle mass as well. Which leads me to this thing I found the other day. So these people are saying keto, 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 and it's in the press. People are going, oh, should I do keto, should I do keto? And you go, you know what, Gary, put clothes on, it's so hot here. It's very hard to do, and why we don't advise our clients to do it is you can't. It's like any diet, you can't do it and then step off it without expecting like a negative effect, like weight gain, to come on. If you have no carbohydrates for 6 weeks and you suddenly start eating them again, you're gonna basically hold on to that as fat. So we'd say it's not sustainable, and it is really, really hard to do if you have any kind of social life at all. Now, these keto people have been going for about a decade or so, I guess, in the mainstream. Now they've invented something called TKD, targeted ketogenic dieting. Sounds nice, right? In essence, I'm reading a blog about it. People going, oh, ketogenic diet helped me get really ripped and lean, but I lost loads of muscle. So now I eat a high carb, low fat diet because that gives me more energy and helps me put on muscle. Wait. Go back to the primal. These are the same people that are saying you can't eat grains and stuff like that, or carbohydrates, because as cavemen we're not due to have them, but suddenly, they give you energy and help you build muscle. Great, you've recognised that, guys. Great, you've recognised that. But why not just be honest and go, you know what? Actually, we got it wrong. You do need carbohydrates in your diet. Like, doing ketogenic will strip you of fat, strip you of muscle, keep you looking really lean, but it's bloody hard to do, bloody hard to keep up. And if you actually want to have some body goals that involve putting on lean muscle mass, you're going to need carbohydrates. If you want energy through the day, you're going to need carbohydrates. So what it's saying is like, oh, now the ketogenic diet is, it's super low carb, high fat, apart from sometimes when it's super low fat, high carb. And they call it ketogenic as well. So no wonder people are confused. No wonder people are confused. It's shocking. It's shocking the way people twist things and dress stuff up to kind of suit their own agendas, rather than going, this thing I've been following all along and saying carbohydrates are bad. Oh, I'm not going to admit that. Now I'm just going to say carbohydrates are good in a certain way. So a message is always from us, don't go into these fad diets, like simple, sustainable living. Eat a sensible diet. You do need carbohydrates. Going lower carb is fine. Just make sure you've got a healthy, balanced diet, exercise well. You can have great body composition goals and maintain them. Don't be fished in by these fad diets, or even the people who have invented them now turn around and say something completely opposite, but try and pretend it's still part of the same thing they came up with in the first place. It's absolute balderdash. Anyway, that's my Friday morning rant over. The reason I am sitting here, not naked, Gary, I've just come off the roof doing a workout up there, and it is very, very hot here. Probably hot back in the UK as well, so be careful in the heat, stay hydrated, and have yourselves a great weekend.